fence?
Because we cannot afford with the Bulgarian guard forces to have one guard at every 50 or 100 meters. So that's why we decided to build this facility. This is not exactly a border, which will save human capacity. Otherwise, we cannot, from purely budgetary and administrative capacity reasons, we cannot go like this further.
So in all honesty, Deputy Prime Minister, do you believe it is right for Europe to speed up the accession process with Turkey and, by the summer, talk about delivering visa-free travel for all Turks into the European Union?
Well, first of all, when we talk about speeding up negotiations, still to open and close a chapter means to fulfill all the obligations and also to abide to the political criteria. And second, visa liberalization, I think that this is a step in the right direction. This one will help tremendously the Turkish society and also will make Europe more apprehensive to and to understand better the needs of Turkey.
Yeah, let's then get back to this notion that the deal, it is hoped, will stop the migration flow from Turkey into European territory. I just wonder whether you are now prepared to say to me, and we've talked about the shooting incident, but there have been many other incidents too, and we can talk about some of them, including police brutality, beatings, forcible pushing of migrants back over the border. I wonder whether you would now acknowledge to me that it has been bad for Bulgaria's reputation. What has happened over the last 6-9 months?
Well, I think to single out Bulgaria having difficulties to prevent the rules over the border, it's not very fair. We had the same incidents, as you said, in Hungary, for example, or in Austria, or in Germany, or in former Republic of Yugoslavia.
Nothing like this. Nothing like the pervasive, systemic use of violence and abusive practice against the refugees. I mean, it's not me saying that. It's, for example, the Belgrade Centre for Human Rights, which, in conjunction with Oxfam, did a detailed study of people who had passed through Bulgaria and managed to make it into Serbia. Of all of the refugees they interviewed from Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, all who had had contact with the Bulgarian police reported abuse, extortion, robbery, physical violence, threats of deportation, and police dog attacks.
Well, I very much appreciate the work of human rights activists, and this is their right and obligations to raise the voice and to ring the bell. I could assure you that
your obligation to respond to it. Truthfully, and to find out what went wrong and to make sure it doesn't happen anymore.
Exactly. That's why we made a lot of internal investigations among the police officers, and we raised the public awareness what is right and what is wrong.
Well, Bulgarian state television broadcast from 2013 actually included interviews with members of the border police who said that their superiors have instructed them to, quote, beat refugees and, quote, send them back.
No, this is completely wrong. It can't be like this. If there is if people claim for it, I believe that not only the minister but also the professional governance of the ministry have taken note from this.
There's a phrase which has been used about not just Bulgaria, let's be fair, but about some other governments in Eastern Europe, and the phrase is a compassion deficit. Now, I wonder whether you would acknowledge that there is something about the attitude of East European peoples who feel themselves that they maybe, are suffering economically, that their lives are difficult, that the EU hasn't maybe delivered them all of the promises that they'd hoped it would deliver, that they don't really feel much compassion for these migrants coming in from outside. Is that true?
Well, you asked me a quite psychological question. I don't want, first of all, to have another one border between mental one between West and East in Europe.
Do you feel there is a bit of a division between them?
Well, we are closer to the conflict. When the conflict is just one border from Turkey, and you are obviously responsible to guard the entrance into the European Union, you should perform. And actually what is a lack of EU policy is lack of enforcement. because we decided once that we need to have control over the European borders, and we didn't manage. So instead of complaining that the big countries like Germany, like Spain, like Italy, they should do more, the Eastern European countries, they regained the control. Maybe not all the time quite properly. Actually, Bulgaria was not together with V4, with Visegrad 4, in respect of rejecting quota.
Mm.